Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking we could do top 5 movies, least favorite movies, or just favorite and least favorite movie, and explain why. Like for the Star Wars one, I was gonna do uh, favorite character, least favorite character.
Well, well,
I can tell you right now, my least
kind
favorite
of made
character.
it hard to like at some points, and it's because of the whole, they don't really go right, they don't stick to the comics. Is my point.
I mean, the first few movies did. Captain America was very old
Mm,
school Captain America movie. Iron Man was the only thing they really changed for Iron Man for his origin at least was Vietnam instead of Afghan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they just modernized his because the comics anyway are a what's it called, a revolving timeline or something like that, where
Changing
like
the timeline.
their
They
origin,
always gotta switch it up
their
to modern
no
times.
their origins always like go modern. Like the Fantastic Four, first they were World War I, I want to say. Then they were Afghan. Then they were like North Korea or the Korean War. Like because the Fantastic Four is the first Marvel team anyway, so like their origins went all the way back to World War I, I think, at first,
Yeah, that's true. That is very much true.
and then then they just modernized their origin every few years to be like a more recent war.
True. Yeah, I think
the movie
the best
Star
movie
Wars.
that I can actually come to like is the it's like the Black Panther one. The Black Panther, movies are like really good.
I like Black Panther, but my favorite is Winter Soldier.
Really? Like that's
Yeah, because I think Winter Soldier is like the best cohesive movie, I want to say. It all ties together. It brings in a bunch of chemistry. It made Captain America great, in my opinion, because the first Captain America movie was good, but it felt more campy. But the Russo brothers actually, one of them said that they didn't even like Captain America, so they were trying to make the movie where people will like him.
uh, the Winter Soldier made Captain America great again. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, essentially. Or it's made him great in general.
Well, there's one thing I didn't find quite right at the end of the Infinity movie,
Uh-huh.
and that's when Falcon decided to be
Oh, the end.
Captain America.
Captain America.
Where-
Well, actually, the funny thing is, you're saying the at the end of Endgame where Cap gives Falcon a shield.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Spoilers,
it's
by the way.
weird because actually Winter
The
Soldier Bucky is the one that actually takes the Captain American model.
No, actually, before that happened, Falcon
Oh.
did have the shield for like I think it was a few months at least
No, I
before
don't think
Cap took it back. Falcon did originally have the shield first at one point before
Yeah.
Winter Soldier became a good guy, and before Winter Soldier even became a thing, because Winter Soldier got introduced in 2004, 2005, I want to say.
Yeah, around 2004, 2005. That's when he became the Captain America
Yeah,
that was
Fal-
kind of like Jason Todd
Falcon.
in a sense.
Yeah, Falcon actually had the shield in like the early 90s, I want to say, for a few issues, but then Cap took it back like right away, but still. And also, in my opinion, Captain Falcon, that's why I'm dubbing Falcon Captain America, because it's great. um, in my opinion, Captain Falcon is a better Captain America than Winter Soldier Captain America.
definitely.
I don't know.
Like,
I
I
kinda
mean,
like the design
Bucky
of
would
the
agree.
Winter Soldier one better though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like his design was better, but like I think he means like
The stories,
like
I think
story. Yeah.
like the storyline, like I've read the Falcon Captain America line, and it's actually a really good story. And my first introduction to Falcon was Winter Soldier.
Well, my only issue with that like scene wasn't that he gave it to him, because I knew that's canon in the comics. And that's like finally you kind of stick it in the comics. What got to me was that Captain America, with all his future knowledge of the wars and stuff he could prevent, does absolutely nothing for like what,
So-
60 years?
The weird thing about that is because the directors and the writers have so many conflicting conflicts on like what the timeline is. Some people say like old Cap lived through what happens without telling anyone. The other people say he had some of the Pym particles and came back at the end of the, like when he was ready to give up his shield, because like they were saying he was Captain America all throughout another timeline without any other the Avengers, got old with Peggy and everything, and just after whenever he got to like I don't know 100 years old, because I think that's what he is, he came back to the current present where Endgame and Infinity War happened and gave his shield to Falcon. And people are also saying like maybe he gave his shield to Bucky in a different timeline. And that's why he gave it to Falcon, so both of them can have their chance. And also it doesn't make sense for Winter Soldier to get the shield in the current timeline, is because he's still a wanted fugitive. He has a lot of red in his ledger. He was an assassin. He assassinated JFK. He assassinated the Starks. He assassinated a lot of other people. Yes, he was.
Captain America killed a lot of people. Like
yes,
he kills
Captain
a lot
America. Yes, he does kill a lot of people. I agree, but he did it for the force of good.
But
even though that's a very lame excuse. Yes, even though even though that's a very lame excuse, but he did it for the greater good.
The thing is, Bucky did it because he was mind controlled. So you think the higher ups would have some sort of leeway for him?
Yeah, but I think that's what the show. I think that's what Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to bring up. It's like a lot of people are saying they're going to fight over the shield, but a lot of people are also saying like Bucky will let him have the shield, or let Sam have the shield because he was brainwashed, and he might be able to be like in Civil War. He's still mind controlled to some extent because of the
still got those triggers, yeah.
Yeah, the trigger words.
Happened to him back in Winter Soldier.
Wait, what was that?
Because of the whole like mind thing they did to him back in the Winter Soldier movie.
Yeah.
An overly convoluted plan that should not have worked no matter what.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The Civil War thing, like, oh my god. And like
a lot of people like Civil War, but I don't see the. I personally think it's the weakest out of the three Captain America movies.
Yeah, it's not even taking
like.
into
Yes, I think Civil War is the weakest out of the three. When people say it's their favorite out of the three.
Honestly, I kind of agree with that. If you just had
like
characters, it would have been way better, because there would have been like teams and everything. Even in the
but the only way they can, yes, in the comics, because they had every single Marvel character. In the movies, they only have so many. They just introduced Spider-Man in Civil War. I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but I really do think that if they did the Spider-Man storyline from the Civil War comics, it wouldn't have worked, because he's only been Spider for like what, 6 months at the point of Civil War.
Yeah, basically.
And
I mean,
Spider-Man in the comics was like 40 almost at that point. I don't know what his
well,
age.
Nobody knows anything
well,
about comic age and comic books anymore.
I think in Civil War, Peter Parker was supposed to be like, I want to say 22, 23, and he became Spider-Man when he was 15.
Let's just say he was like in his early to mid-20s when Civil War happened. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, he was Spider-Man for a few years. He was well known as Spider-Man. So when he unmasked him, spoilers for a 10-year-old comic. or no, Civil War came out around the same time as Iron Man 1, so a 12-year-old comic at this point. Um, when Spider-Man unmasked himself in front of the press, everyone knew who Spider-Man was at that point. Especially because he had like the fights against all his major villains: Green Goblin, Mysterio, Doc Ock, etc. The Sinister Six, multiple Sinister Six teams. There are so many Sinister Six teams, it's crazy.
It's like Sinister 2016. That's all it is.
I think there's like a Sinister I think there's like a evil team of like 12 at this point that's been around.
The Sinister Six was like the original, like, main Spider-Man
bad guy team.
And, you know, Green Goblin, Sandman, Mysterio, Electro.
Actually, Green Goblin was not part of the original Sinister Six.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't part of the original Six. It was Vulture.
It was Mysterio, Vulture, Shocker.
Electro.
Oh, wait.
Electro.
Shocker, but he's
Electro, Rhino.
I don't think he was part of the Sinister Six, not the original.
I think I remember. It was the Vulture, Electro, Doc Ock, Sandman, Rhino, and
it's Electro, Mysterio, Doc Ock as the leader of Vulture, Sandman, and Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, that's the original.
I just looked up the lineup, so.
Well, that's cheating.
Well, I knew most of it, but I wanted to make sure.
I think because like they interchanged like the main characters in the team so much, it's like you can name most of the villains, and you can probably be right.
I think at one point Swarm was part of the Sinister Six, the Nazi bee guy.
Oh god.
Nazi.
Dude, I love Swarm. He's the Nazi bees.
I know.
Swarm is one of.
I keep telling you people bees are evil, but nobody wants to listen. No.
All right.
Why and they stay.
Well,
but like,
with my favorite movie being Winter Soldier, and also I enjoy the new Spider-Man movies. I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. He is the definitive Spider-Man. In my opinion, Tobey Maguire was a good Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield was a good Spider-Man. Tom is a good both.
I'll give you that. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Andrew Garfield just kind of felt like a big.
He felt like a prick.
In a sense.
I mean, but he was also kind of an ass. Like, Spider-Man is supposed to have one-liners, and yes, Andrew Garfield had those.
He had that as
but
Spider-Man, but not as Peter. Peter was just.
I mean, a nerd. I mean,
that's it.
he wasn't overly bullied, but he wasn't cool, which is what I like how the Tom Holland Spider-Mans are doing. He's not overly bullied. Yes, he has a bully, being Flash Thompson, but Flash Thompson has always been his bully. But he's also liked.
I'd like to also note a fact that what also happened is like the What If story in the comics. Apparently, at one point in time in like a What If story, they allowed Frank Castle to be Captain America.
Yeah, no, I don't even think that was a what if. I think that was actually canon for a time.
Really? It was canon for a time?
Because Frank Castle's been Captain America, he's been Iron, he's been War Machine, he's been Ghost Rider, he's been a lot of Frank Castle. Punisher has been a lot of quote unquote heroes.
It's just, I don't know.
I think the funniest interaction that that the Punisher had with superheroes was with Moon Knight, and they go off and say like, Punisher asks like Moon Knight, well, how's the multiple personalities? And Moon Knight shoots back, he's like, fine.
Oh shit.
How's killing people? And he's like, it's good. How's your fake god? And then Moon Knight shoots back with, good. How's your dead family?
Dude, I remember that. That's hilarious. But I also love the. I know it's not a real comic panel, but it's basically a meme. But it's Moon Knight in like Dracula's castle. It's like, Dracula, where are you, nerd?
Oh my god, yeah, that was awesome. That should be real. Why isn't that real? That's awesome. That's just...
I don't know why it's not real, but that's one of the things I'm ready. That's one of the Disney Plus shows I'm ready for is Moon Knight, because I've been waiting for a live action Moon Knight since I found out Moon Knight was a character. I love Moon Knight.
Oh, yeah.
He's just Marvel's Batman. Let's be honest.
No, he isn't. He is so much more than Marvel's Batman.
Yes, he is.
Everyone,
Yes, he is. Marvel's
everyone says that, but he is not Marvel's Batman. Moon Knight is so much. Yeah,
Really, just
it's more. It's more accurate. It's more accurate to compare Iron Man, Batman, but Moon Knight is so much more than Marvel's Batman.
He's
Batman.
Well,
I'm
with the
looking
multiple,
forward to on the Disney
with the
Plus.
multiple person. I've read one of the more recent Moon Knight runs, and oh my god, it was so good. I can't remember what it was called, but it was the one where he had the white suit. I can't remember the. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, I read them too. I didn't understand why they took it to a whole new like direction and saying like, oh, Mr. Knight is when it's just him, and then Moon Knight is just when it's the god that took over his body is just now just going around punching people. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, that's the only thing I didn't like about it. But the rest, but like the actual story itself was so compelling. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I've been
And I don't.
also kind of like waiting for like a Moon Knight movie or something to come out at least.
That's what they're doing a Disney Plus show. That's what.
What I'm waiting forward to on Disney Plus is the She-Hulk show.
That too, because apparently they are doing the. I like how this went to a least favorite MCU movie to a most favorite MCU movie to just us talking about the MCU in general. But apparently they are going to do the correct origin for She-Hulk which is the blood transfusion.
Good. Have they done horns? What the hell?
They're going by the book this time? Holy shit, that's new.
They've gone by the book most of the time.
Most of the time.
I feel so bad for She-Hulk as a character because she's funnier than Deadpool. Let's be honest. Like, she has the narrator. She breaks the fourth wall all the time. She literally fired her narrator at one point, and the narrator argued back, "You can't fire me. I'm the narrator." It's hilarious.
Yeah, and also I'm extremely because they also said that it's going to be a very serious court show as well.
Oh no!
So I wonder how they're going to. Well, she is a lawyer.
That's true. That's very much true.
I'm gonna be honest. That is the most boring part of her personality. I liked her better when she was a bounty hunter.
She was a bounty hunter at one point.
Yeah, with a Skrull sidekick.
Oh yeah, I remember. Now I remember that.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah, like because they were both green. She's like, she would shapeshift. It was so cool because like Jennifer Walters had her neck snapped, and you're like, oh my god! And then she like just starts cussing out the guy who snapped her neck. Like that was just so rude. Just puts her head back on. Like holy shit.
No, but I think they're going to make I think they're going to make it a more compelling story than just like the court case. I think they're going to do like her taming her anger as well because she's always big green She-Hulk.
No. I guess they gotta do the origins part, but like, that's
or they.
About it, like, she was in control as She-Hulk. She wasn't like mindless rage monster like the Hulk. I mean, God, she had her own personality.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think I think like maybe they're actually going to explain how Banner and Hulk became one and the same.
Here's the thing though, like about the Hulk thing, like there are multiple Hulks out there. If you read the comics, you realize, like in She-Hulk,
there's Red Hulk, there's Red She-Hulk, there's Hulk, there's She-Hulk, there's sorry, I'm cussing.
Dude,
well, Great Hulk. Well, there's
like,
Mr. Fix-It, there's the Grey Hulk, there's Immortal Hulk now, which is I hear is being really crazy, but I haven't read it. I'm waiting for the omnibus of that or the volumes of that.
And World Breaker Hulk.
Like,
well, that's all the same Hulk.
Yeah, true.
But it's just
the point I'm trying to get, like, it was pointed out that it's the whole thing.
Yeah, Maestro. Well, Maestro was
the villain, right? The dude with the big green head.
No, wasn't he? No, that's the leader.
Hulk, but like, if the Hulk was just like super smart and whatnot, and he's.
I thought Maestro was like Old Man Logan Hulk.
In a sense, yeah, but he killed all the superheroes.
Oh, okay. There was one where he's the Hulk's walking around and he's the last person on Earth, and he literally cannot kill himself because the Hulk keeps regenerating,
Yeah, that's
and he's
I've
just
read that story. That is like
old.
a super sad story.
no,
Yeah.
I've watched YouTubers talk about like Comic Story and Comics Explained and all that. Uh,
My point was that it's canon in the Hulk universe, or whatever you want
that
to call
Hulk
it.
cannot die.
It's canon that each Hulk version is different because it's based upon the original's personality. Like Banner Hulk is a rage monster because he repressed his rage. Jennifer Walters, her Hulk is like an Amazon because she was kind of mouthy and stuff. It's just like the mask, you know?
There's
Yeah.
one thing I didn't like what they did to her in one of the comic scenes was just make her look like a female version of the Hulk, which is
Yeah.
not
Oh
at
my
all-
God.
Wasn't that more recent?
Which is the reason She-Hulk, and is so pissed. Like she had such a good run when she was like, I like only one time I liked her as a lawyer was when she was a lawyer for superheroes, like
Yeah,
specifically those court cases.
No,
that
I want to say that's what they're going to do for Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man whatever the heck they want to call it, home whatever. If they still go with the home motif, I think they will bring in She-Hulk.
That'd be so great.
Because
Honestly,
because
that's kinda like the best way to introduce that
because-
character.
I
well,
love
they're going to introduce She-Hulk in her own series, but I think they will have She-Hulk in Spider-Man 3. If not She-Hulk, a lot of people are saying there's a rumor that, or a lot of people are wanting Daredevil to make his first MCU appearance as not Daredevil, but as Matt Murdock to represent Peter Parker.
I mean, you know that they both, She-Hulk and Matt Murdock, argued against each other, right? She-Hulk defended Captain America at one point when he was old man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
After he got the super suit, the super soldier serum taken out,
Yeah, and he became like a
Like-
old man Captain America or
like
something like that.
right after Civil War, or a few years after that.
Yeah, a few years after that. I think it was around
'Cause he was
the same
dead,
time
like
where Deadpool made his own like Avengers team too.
Yeah, I remember that. That was actually a good run.
It was a pretty good run.
I don't read Deadpool. I don't know.
There is something that I kind of liked at the same time, but didn't like was Thor Ragnarok, where they kind of two stories
No.
together, like Planet Hulk and Ragnarok. I honestly,
The only reason why they did a Planet Hulk was because Universal was not going to let Feige make a Hulk solo film. But apparently now, because of the whole She-Hulk thing being on Disney Plus, people are saying that Universal has less pull on the Hulk characters. So, and there is talks of another Hulk solo film being written. So,
It's a different.
they can't necessarily go back because once you already put like once you already kind of like did a Planet Hulk thing, it's kind of already done and over with. You can't fix that. You can't retcon
Well,
it.
no, you can't retcon the Planet Hulk
They
thing, but you
just
can also.
ignore it.
But you also have
Mhm.
Professor Hulk. You could do the storyline where Hulk and Banner just completely split for a while, and maybe that's how they get to World Breaker Hulk, or I don't know. There's
They got
Feige had,
holes in the MCU to work with. You know, like you just do anything. Like,
I mean, they could also bring back like Abomination from the Incredible Hulk movie. They could bring back. They could finally do the leader. He was teased
Yeah.
at the end of the Incredible Hulk movie. They could
Oh, that
do
was what I was
Hulk
thinking.
versus Red Hulk.
look,
He's apparently.
Edward Norton's version of the Hulk was the best. Like as Banner, I should say. Like
That was the
I enjoyed him way better than
2002
Mark Ruffalo.
movie or 2004 movie.
It was the second one. Completely ignore the fact that the first one existed.
Oh, the Incredible Hulk. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It did.
The very first one. The very old, cruddy looking
Like the
one.
first,
but
almost the
kinda good.
first
The-
comic book movie for
The
Marvel.
first comic book for Marvel. No, the first the
Yeah.
first MCU
It
movie.
was before Iron Man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was before Iron Man.
very first one in a sense.
No,
The one
the
that
first
was
the
supposed
first
to-
MCU movie was Iron Man, but the Incredible Hulk came out like 2 months later.
What came out first? I think it came out.
Iron
a
Man
year-
came out first. No, Iron Man came.
I feel like Incredible Hulk is the first one that came out. Well, actually, no, it's not. Daredevil was the first one that came out.
Oh wait, shit. Yeah, you got that right.
The
But I still think Hulk came out first. It's just that it came well, not first, but before Iron Man, because it was before the MCU.
for the
Because remember at the end you have what's his face? Robert Downey Jr.
Oh.
or Tony Stark showing up.
no, yeah, it came out like 2 months after Iron Man.
One of the first post-credit scenes.
Please stay. Iron Man got released on May 2nd of 2008.
All right, so let me look up the first one. The Incredible Hulk came out in 2008. It came out
June 13th.
2008.
Yes. So it came out a month after Iron Man did.
Damn. Wait,
So-
hold on. I'm looking at the other one. Give me a second.
You got to look at the anime one, the art film.
There we go. Found the original one.
But that wasn't part of the MCU though. The
So
like
what?
the 2003 one.
Yeah, Tony Stark.
What we're talking about.
Technically, the first comic book movie. Well, we could say Batman technically, but it was like old Christopher Reeve Superman. But like the first Marvel movie was
Spider-Man.
technically the
Avengers.
Fantastic
It
Four.
was terrible.
Yeah, that was right. Fantastic Four came out first before Spider-Man.
But if you want to talk
Like,
the first one,
The Fantastic Four movie that didn't get released. It got filmed in like the 80s.
but the Avengers came out.
There was an Avengers movie before.
It was so
Yeah, now that I
terrible.
remember, yeah, there was actually an Avengers movie that was like really old and kind of like this.
It was so low budget, and they only made it so they wouldn't lose the rights to it.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
What year did this come out, or what decade?
Movie too in the
I
60s.
think it was like the early, maybe mid 90s.
I think it was the 70s. To be honest, like
I
either
think
that or just
around that
really
time-
terrible.
around that time is when the comic book
Oh my god, yeah, I remember, or I've seen this. Oh yeah, with like the battle, with the Lou Ferrigno Hulk and all that.
Yeah.
It
The 70s.
no, it was supposed to be a TV show
Oh, really?
because they had all the live action shows like the Lou Ferrigno Hulk, the old Thor TV
Yeah.
show that was out. There was an old Iron Man show that was out too.
The Japanese Spider-Man.
The Japanese Spider-Man, but that was in Japan. That was weird.
Like
But
We don't talk about that one. We don't talk about
Iron Man.
around the table.
look at Iron Man. He's just walking vibrate.
yes, that. Okay, I feel like we could talk about the MCU forever, but I think we should go to our next topic because it's already been like
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes.
Videos just talking about how terrible or what we love about the MCU. Love-hate relationship we have with the MCU. Like,
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm still waiting for like the Clone Saga to be a thing, cause
Dude, yes.
I know
I don't
it's a
know
pretty back
saying
comic
what
series,
my
but
feet
you
hurt.
cannot lie. Ben Riley is a good Spider-Man.
I also like
love
I
Spider-
also I like Ben Riley, but I also like Kane.
You want? They're both.
Dude.
Well, Kane does have a better
Oh,
like comic design than Ben Riley.
Yeah.
That was like that '90s design. Like he had that grungy look. Shit. Like, oh my god, that was amazing.
No, but I know it didn't last very long, but I love the new design that they gave Scarlet Spider, Ben Riley, whenever he came back like last year or 2 years ago.
Oh, was it the one with the
Oh
hood?
my god! Please tell me it's not the damn hoodie one.
No,
No, I love that design too, but the like
like the,
the-
hood, but when they had the mouth with it, like what the hell?
Yeah, that was really weird.
Like who?
uh
Everyone in the
Wait,
team.
about, like his particular Spider-Man suit, where it had like a big giant black spider.
Talking about the one that was like red and black.
I'm gonna send a picture to the group chat.
Alright, but now
But let's go to Star Wars.
Okay, next segue is Star Wars. All right, Chandler. All right, make the argument of why I should not hate these new Star Wars movies. Okay, I'm gonna discount Mandalorian because Mandalorian is pretty damn good. I've seen.
What about Clone Wars?
Clone Wars. Are we talking about like the animated Clone Wars? Or are we talking about like?
Yes.
Okay. Animated Clone Wars. I'm not gonna diss on it either because I kind of did like it. I do like it.
Yeah.
I also did see like the 2003, 2004 animated version of Clone Wars. You know.
That was more of a promotion.
Yeah, I know, but
That-
I've
the-
seen it.
Yeah.
I kind of love it, and I just can't stop watching it. I mean, you gotta
Well,
buy the.
no, I-
animation.
No,
Have you
I
seen
enjoyed the old like 2D animated Clone Wars thing because it was, and also it's funny because those were originally like short, like 3-4 minute commercials at first, but then like Volume 2 was like they decided to do like an hour.
Entire story.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
with
what I
no
like.
talking.
Have you
The
seen, like, Rise of Skywalker though? Like,
okay, Rise of
seen-
Skywalker is not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie either.
Okay.
it's not.
That's my
it's
argument.
really what people think, but I really enjoyed the fight scenes and the way they used the Force. It was honestly
Okay.
clever.
Yes, the fight scenes and the Force abilities were cool, but the story itself didn't feel cohesive because the thing with The Last Jedi, Ryan Johnson actually went to the storyboard team, like the people who work on the books, the comics, Fallen Order. I assume they were working on The Mandalorian back then too. He went to talk to the storyboard team every week during the production of The Last Jedi while he was writing, while he was filming it, everything. So he did not contradict anything happening in the new canon. So anything that happened in like the Clone Wars, the new books after the Disney buyout, the Marvel comics. So in my opinion, The Last Jedi felt more like a more cohesive, complete story because Ryan Johnson actually followed the canon. JJ for The Rise of Skywalker, he
His own story.
did what he wanted to do, but also Poe is not a spice runner. He was a pilot for the New Republic, or he was a New Republic Navy officer. Also, the novelization for The Last Jedi revealed that Palpatine was a clone, which I hate that storyline. I wish I wish Snoke was the main villain for the whole thing. I do agree, but
So what the hell was Snoke?
What's such a non-villain? Like,
he was a science experiment.
really?
Yeah, a
He didn't-
speak.
He didn't do jack in any of the movie he was in. Like,
But
if he didn't
I-
exist,
But I
Oh my-
feel like they were trying to give him a Palpatine kind of story,
yeah.
but
and
then Ryan Johnson decided to be like, let's kill him off. Because Palpatine was a clone. The novelization for The Last Jedi confirmed that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Tess,
I'm putting on the lotion.
I'm here. Like, I'm waiting. Like you said, but at the same time, so.
no, I was stopping so you can talk.
Okay. Okay, well, here's the thing.
Honestly,
How-
honestly, I would have been happy if they have done with the whole like the solo sibling fight thing. You know, if you have read the old books where Jaina Solo.
Yes, I've read some of the old, but with the Legends books, for every Mara Jade you get a Luke, a Luuke.
Yeah.
The Luke storyline was so bad, no one likes it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay,
they could have just forgotten that one, but you cannot deny.
Yeah.
You cannot deny that the Dark
But
Empire.
I
was
also like how they're
superior.
bringing in elements from the old Legends into the new canon. Like Thrawn. Thrawn is amazing in Rebels and his own stories. Because Timothy Zahn, who originally wrote the Thrawn novels, or the Dark Empire, Empire, that was it? That trilogy that with Thrawn. Timothy Zahn is writing the Thrawn book, so he knows the character. And Thrawn in Rebels was one of the most complex antagonist that I think Star Wars has ever had. And also, Rebels did every single storyline that the new trilogy did, but better.
But honestly, if we think about it, like some of the old legend stories are kind of a bit better than the new canon, though.
Dude, I've read a lot. I am reading Alphabet Squadron right now. Oh my god, that is one of the best Star Wars books I've read. I also have Bloodlines, the Leia book, on my list. I am listening to Dark Disciple, the Quinlan Voss and Ventress story. It's really good. I would recommend it to anyone, even if you know the characters just from looking at them, or like the 2003-2004 animated movie. That's where they first introduced Ventress. But Ventress, to be fair, was not canon to begin with until the new Clone Wars show. So.
Well, wasn't her like first appearance was in that 2003 animated series, and they
Yes,
just,
but
like,
yes,
loved
but
so much?
that was not canon to begin with.
Yeah, but that's kind of like where her first appearance was.
Yeah, that's where her first appearance was. But then she became canon from the
Like Harley Quinn.
Like Harley Quinn.
Yes, very much like Harley Quinn, who appeared in Batman the animated series, but then only like 2 years later she got introduced in the comics because she was loved by fans.
Yeah.
She was awesome. Like her voice actress, I think, is what really sold it.
Tara Strong.
Yeah. Well,
Dude,
Yeah.
Tara Strong
Tara
just
didn't voice her in the old animated series. It was a different voice actor, but when Tara
She
Strong
didn't?
took over as the main voice actor for her, that's when she became really loved in the series.
You're right. Actually, the funny thing is, Kevin Conroy didn't have any voice acting experience until Batman the Animated Series.
Really?
Really?
And the same thing about the guy who voiced Terry McGinnis in Batman Beyond.
Really? That's pretty.
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Just random knowledge.
Like my favorite thing, I heard something. Speaking of random knowledge and Batman, is after 9/11. You know, when everybody's pitching in, like the voice of Batman guy.
Mhm.
I know you just said it, but I instantly forgot the name.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy. He goes to volunteer, like to help out for the first responders. But it's like he's in the back making food and stuff.
Yeah.
And somebody says, "Hey, Batman's in the kitchen," and so he hears people asking like about it, and he says, from the kitchen, he says, "I am the Knight. I am Batman." Like does that, and everybody's like, damn.
Well, another thing, another fun fact about 9/11. Has anyone read that 9/11 like short story that Marvel did like right after,
No.
where like it was in the point of view of mainly Spider-Man, but like you saw like the villains helping out, like Doctor Doom and a bunch of other villains. I can't name all of them off the top of my head, but like a lot of like, of course, like all the heroes were helping the first responders. Like Magneto was also part of it, like lifting the heavy metals like pillars to help clear the areas. Like it.
That's right.
It's a really
was in the World War because he was Jewish, right?
yeah, World War II.
Yeah.
Or he wasn't in the World War. He was.
He's a victim of the Nazis.
Yeah. He
You
was.
gotta
He was in a he was in a concentration camp. But like, if you get it rotates on Facebook every once in a while around 9/11. If I see it up on my feed again, I'll send it to y'all. But it's a really heartfelt story. Like, I cry every time I read it. I swear. Like, it's only like 20 pages or something like that. I think it's even less actually.
You read
Well, cutting away from the Marvel because we're on a different subject.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Rey and Kylo.
I like Kylo. I like the main characters. I just feel like they were executed wrong.
their relationship was underdeveloped. Like that kissing at the end, like that made no sense. Like
I'm gonna be honest with you. None of the series, none of the three made sense to me.
The kiss at the end was supposed to be more a friend kiss. The novelization worked.
Friend on the
Let's
lips.
make out, but we're just friends at the end, right?
Oh,
my
man.
God,
I,
Oh,
couldn't afford
right,
it.
I think it was supposed to be like, thank you, I know I'm gonna die, so thank you. That kind of, I don't know. I
it's just
don't understand.
so
I didn't
bizarre.
understand. I enjoyed watching The Rise of Skywalker, but I did not understand most of it. I'm waiting to listen to the novelization so I can like focus more on it. Cause that's why I did with because that's why I did with both. Actually, no, I haven't done it with the Force Awakens. That'd be a lie. But I did that with the Last Jedi, and I got a lot more of what they were trying to do in the movie.
I also heard that they were gonna go do the Old Republic, and here's what I'm gonna say:
They are
if
going.
do not do my boy Revan right, I'm gonna be so goddamn pissed.
No, they're not.
No,
They're not doing the Old Republic. They're doing the High Republic. It's supposed to be 200 years before the
So
prequels.
wait, so
Jesus.
what?
It's supposed to be the Jedi are at the top of their game, but the Republic is still very small, and they're expanding their reaches.
But it's like the Old Republic then.
No, the Old Republic was thousands of years before the prequels. This is two to 300 years before.
It's a High Republic.
Because if they did the Old Republic, people would compare it to KOTOR, but because they're doing the High Republic, something that was touched very little, even in Legends, they don't have anything to compare it to. They are doing fresh ground. The only thing that can really connect the High Republic to the prequels is Yoda, but they are saying that Yoda will barely appear in it, or like he'll be like a Nick Fury kind of character that appears like.
The next
Once in a
baby.
while.
Actual
Yeah,
baby.
exactly.
But
No, because Yoda's 1,000 years old at the end of
I thought it was
when he
only like
dies.
but
Yoda was
who's gonna be the main
Yoda was
character
900 in the
for this?
prequels.
Oh my god,
Hmm?
I didn't
Who's
realize
gonna
that.
be the main character for the High Republic?
It's not going to be any. There's going to be a bunch of characters because they're going to do comics, they're going to do books, a lot of like Claudia Gray has written a lot of amazing. Yes, they are YA books, but she has written a lot of amazing stories for Star Wars. She did the Bloodlines book. Again, haven't gone to it, but I hear it's amazing. She's also done a few others.
I like how you qualified. Yes, they're YA books. Like a lot of young adult novels actually are really well written. It's just
No, I like a lot of the books I read are young adult, but they're also like 300-400 pages, so I can get a good read out of them.
yeah,
Like all the Percy Jackson books, all of like the Harry Potter
oh my
books.
God, I love the Percy Jackson books so much, and the movie. Oh my god!
Was
Like
so
I
bad.
was straight up offended. Like, why would you do this? Like, none of this is how it's supposed to be. Like, Hades isn't.
Because-
It's
Okay, let's just go to a general movie topic now. The
Right.
reason why the Percy Jackson movies, because there was 2 of them technically, then they just stopped because they made no money.
sucks so.
The reason why they were so bad is because Rick Riordan didn't help out at all. He was classified as an executive producer, but executive producers don't really do anything for movies. Like Nolan was an executive producer for Man of Steel, but do you know how much of that movie was touched by Nolan? None of it.
Really, to be fair.
Yeah, but like with Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling helped with those films a little bit. Like she got the feel of it right.
No, like you can definitely tell. Like Rowling was more in depth because, like, I heard something that like Snape, the guy playing Snape, knew in Snape's entire arc. Huh?
Snape. I knew where you were going with that. I literally just watched it like 2 days ago. It's great.
I mean,
Let's go.
if we're honest, if the writers just had more, if they just put more work into the movies that they want to make, like Stephen King's movies, you know.
No.
But
No.
the whole thing with that, a lot of directors don't ask the authors for help. That's why we get so many bad bad book adaptations. Also, we get so many bad like video game adaptations. Like the Doom movie on Netflix. Holy shit, that's garbage.
Have you actually seen Stephen King stuff?
There's a movie on Netflix that's based around
Rock.
Doom, and it's
Rock.
terrible.
Yes. Oh god, yes, I heard about it.
Like,
My god, I did not.
It starts with one of the first roles The Rock had in a movie.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's just no. It's just
Like,
no.
But like what you were
There's
saying
actually-
about like the writers were like the authors were more involved in their movies, it wouldn't necessarily be good unless like you're willing to sacrifice stuff like Douglas Adams was.
Or
because
another thing.
Shining was terrible,
Yeah, The Shining
and it was
really
the
bad.
most accurate one.
Whoa,
Not the
Are we
movie.
talking about the Shining, the movie, or are we talking about like the book?
No,
The
he made his
Shining.
own series.
Yeah, Stephen King made his own Shining that was based on the book, but it was so much worse than the movie.
Was book accurate, but it wasn't
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
It's 'cause
Um.
you didn't have Jack Nicholson in it. That's why.
That's probably a thing because like Jack Nicholson really did sell the part of a crazy man. You know?
No, he did. But another thing with a lot of people say for books, like a lot of people are wanting like a Percy Jackson cartoon or an anime or something.
No,
That's like
That is never gonna happen.
I hope
No,
not.
I-
That would be so terrible.
I mean,
Dude,
yes, I know it would be,
series.
but also like
think?
I've seen a lot of people saying like Harry Potter and like the style of, not in the exact style of it, but in the style of Game of Thrones, like do a HBO series or a Netflix series, do like a chapter an episode, so it can be more accurate.
If you make it kind of like that, well, especially since Game of Thrones ended before the final book was made, it was kind of
Because C.R. Martin is so lazy about writing his books. Everyone's been waiting
for most writers, though. That is true about most writers. Let's be honest.
Stop calling me out.
Dude,
Even
a lot of the writers that I have follow almost religiously, Rick Riordan, what I need to go to my bookshelf to look up an author real quick.
Damon, he's worth following. Like, no matter
I
what.
know his name, but I've John Flanagan. It was on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. He writes a series called Ranger's Apprentice, and holy, I love that series to death. But Rick Riordan and there's one more. There's one more that I read a lot.
Oh, something I just got reminded of by the why Disney didn't want to go by the Legends was because in the Legends canons, it was just way more darker than how it was supposed to be. Like,
No, that's not even why they didn't do the Legends. The reason why they didn't do Legends because the Legends timeline is so mangled. There's no cohesiveness to it.
I mean,
Like-
that's pretty much true.
And also, technically, there are Legends books about the Clone Wars, but they weren't the Clone Wars that we got.
Here, guys, here's the one
Being-
about Clone Wars, but at the same time, it's not.
because when George Lucas introduced the concept of the Clone Wars, he didn't explain what it was. He didn't explain it was a million clones of one guy versus a million droids. He did just say the Clone Wars. So a lot of people were like, okay, were they clones of Jedi? Were they clones of
I actually kind of hated how they kind of retconned how Boba or Jango Fett was not a Mandalorian.
They did not retcon that. They never said he was a Mandalorian. They just said Mandalorian armor
Ah, shit, that's right.
because the Mandalorians in, I want to say season 2 of Clone Wars. That's where they first introduced Mandalore. In season 2 of Clone Wars, Obi-Wan asked, I encountered a Mandalorian or a guy in Mandalorian armor named Jango Fett. And the Mandalorian said, we don't have any connection to Jango Fett. He's not true Mandalorian, or he's not a Mandalorian. We have no clue how he got that armor, or something along those lines.
Actually, yeah, it's very much true. They actually did say that, and it's kind of weird because if we actually go look look at the Mandalorian, how most of the Mandalorians were actually killed and how most of the armor was melted down, it kind of makes you wonder that how the hell did he even take down a Mandalorian in the first place?
I think he had help.
Probably.
I think Jango Fett had help.
Yeah, that's very much possible.
Are you sure he took it down? Maybe just bought the armor.
Or he bought the armor
I
off the
mean-
black market. Or a black market.
Exactly.
It's very possible. on
Maybe
both ends.
somebody
He
else-
probably bought it, or he killed somebody
I'll
else.
just tell people I killed this awesome badass assassin. Like nobody's gonna question it.
So I think, how long have we been going?
What? Oh, it's 11 o'clock for me. So
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
right?
No, how long have we been going? Like-
I do not actually know when we actually started. I think we started around like 10:50, somewhere around that time.
It's only been 30 minutes? That feels longer than that. I think we should jump to our next topic.
Okay. Well,
No, like-
I was saying that, like, you know, that the new movies are just trash. I just can't get into them. I'm sorry. I can't.
no,
get into 'em.
no.
I just can't. I just can't. I'm sorry.
I do think they do have their pros and cons, but I
Yeah,
enjoy them.
honestly enjoyed
I
it.
enjoy them for what they are in the general sense.
Yeah,
But I
I'm
do
never
feel
ever
like
gonna see
they-
Kip Durran, or I'm never gonna see Cage Skywalker. I'm never ever gonna see Luke Skywalker close the black hole because that's
What
ridiculous.
the fuck? What?
Because even the people who I talked about with Star Wars, Luke Skywalker is not a Superman type character that Legends made him out to be. He is very much what they made him out to be in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, very much so. All right, but now moving on to the next topic. So, campaigns, right?
D&D stuff. The
D&D
reason why
stuff.
you
Here we go, the D&D stuff. The thing that we are all getting ready for.
all right.
Oh,
So
wait,
what?
that's
It was the favorite
Yeah.
builds that we were gonna do.
Yeah, that was the first one that we were going to do.
Yes, favorite builds.
Let's start with Ninja.
Okay, well, for me, I honestly,
Okay, go.
I'm kind of digging how I'm building Alexander. I think that's because he's kind of the very first character that I had like my own option to, you know, do on my own. Because most of the time when we played D&D, our DM master just kind of made characters for us. We didn't necessarily have a choice about backstory or how we were gonna roll or anything like that. He just kind of pre-made them for us. So, you know, having this one character that I made by myself is just kind of like how I thought of myself would be in that certain time period. And honestly,
That's really weird because
Huh?
all the DMs that I've had is like make your own character, make it how you want to be.
Yeah, no, mine was more like, yeah, I'm making characters for you, or you're gonna just use some old characters that I got. That's it.
That's weird,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But
But again, this was like back in high school, and I can understand like, oh yeah, nobody knows what D&D or Pathfinder is, so you know we're just gonna use the same old characters and whatnot. But yeah, this the warrior class that I've been making right now, even though he's at level 2, and the new max level is level 30, which is called the legendary class. So
they increased the max level.
yeah, they increased the max level to I think they're called like either legendary or platinum characters, something around that line.
Or why didn't they just do epic levels like in?
Actually, I think that's
previous
what they're called,
editions.
which is like epic champions or something like that. Because I forgot what the max. It's 30, right? That's like it's the max around.
It's 20 normally,
It's 20. So yeah,
but if they did max, I mean, if they did max 30, then that would just be like adding epic levels, like how it was in 3rd edition, 3.5 Pathfinder, etc.
So let me look it up real quick.
All right, so Tess, how about you? Well, Ninja's doing that.
Okay. I'm kind of torn between a favorite build. Like, I enjoy Tess, but besides her, I'm torn between a monk, a homebrew monk that's All Might. Her name is
Alright.
Vanessa. Yeah, like she started out as a drunken master, and her friend gave her the All Might thing. It was one of my friends who like didn't like how the character was panning out, so basically passed it on to my character, and like she's lawful good, like straight up lawful good. She will not kill anything that is living, you know? Like, she's a full-on vegetarian and everything, and she's like, guys, we can, we don't have to fight, like, she's the best fighter they have. But, like, she also, at
Alright.
the same time, also accidentally started a mob and burnt down a city. And
Alright.
she's just, like, really bad at her job of being a pacifist. So, it's like, that's just really me, like, failing persuasion rolls so bad and insight. Like she was talking to this dude, like, saying, basically, he's telling him that this one family is the cause of all your trouble. And I'm like, okay. And he starts walking out and says, guys, let's go. And she's like, wait, no, what are you doing? So, like, it became a huge thing. And, like, the one I was torn before was, like, one of the first builds I ever made for online. Her name is Dula Sada, but she says, call me Dula. Because
Alright.
it's just easy to say it. And she was a barbarian sorcerer.
Just call me
Rage
anything,
mage.
but call me for dinner.
Hmm?
Call me anything you want, but just don't call me late for dinner. Okay. So, so I actually did find it, and yeah, you're right. It is actually epic level characters where it goes by from 21 all the way to level 40.
Yeah, that's what. I think in 3.5 it's only level 30, but yeah, that's what they did, just epic levels. Okay, my favorite character build is actually one that I'm playing currently, not Zero, not for what I name my halfling in this campaign. I've had so many halflings, but I think it is Zero. It's actually a gray elf. It's a 3.5 homebrew class called a blind warrior. And he just uses a quarterstaff, and my DM actually gave me a epic homebrew-ish quarterstaff because he used a quarterstaff that his future self gave him, actually, because time travel is a thing in our campaign, apparently. It was super weird at first. I was like, this is actually kind of cool, but the whole point of the campaign was he was captured by a lich that the party that I'm part of, that actually I had a previous character retire from that party, but our party rescued Gillen, and Gillen wants quote unquote revenge against the lich, but he's also kind of salty towards magic users. But then time travel is a thing, and he uses a quarterstaff that's enchanted with electricity on one end and fire on the other, or is it ice on one end? I think it's fire and ice. It's fire and ice. But he has tremor sense, which is a thing that's in 3.5. I'm not sure if it's in 5e because I haven't looked up at many special abilities in 5e, where it's basically Toph from Avatar. You can see the ground around you, or like see around you through the ground.
Oh yes, the most OP superpower that any character can have.
Except when you fly.
Except when you fly.
Oh god!
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my favorite build. But then also, like any of my bards, I love playing bards, but I've yet to play a bard who focuses on sex. I've always played the bard that's like, I'm just here for the adventure. I'm going to write an epic.
Okay. Yeah, exactly right. And like, I my DM once, and like we had I do Adventure League, and like we had this one encounter, like we got to do downtime for like the first time, and one of their players, like he's been there like for a year, he's like, I honestly don't know what my character would do. So he's like, okay, I'll roll. He's like, oh, you get a girlfriend. Like, oh, that's great. And like, I had to watch them flirt, and it was so awkward. I'm like, why would anybody want to play a bard that would seduce a random? I got like, the secondhand embarrassment was killing me. I was just like, because like my DM, he's got this super long red beard. And I was like, oh. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, like, I don't even know how his wife handled that. I'm just like, ew, god, no.
Alright, so future builds we're excited for. That's the next topic.
Next topic, future builds. Okay, all right. Okay, got on the wrong thing, but let's let Tess start first this time.
Oh yay, me. A future build. I have don't really plan too far in advance, like make random ones, but like one I wanted
Just
to play is like I've always wanted to play a rogue because I've never been a rogue. I'm always the
Ro-
kind of like go in and fight type. Like Tess, she doesn't want to, he can't be at the front lines, but that somehow I always forget that I'm no longer a barbarian, so I run in, you know. But like I would
yeah,
like to
rogue,
be a rogue at some point,
rogues are fun. The 5e archetypes for rogues are interesting, but they
like
also just took older classes and made them archetypes for rogues.
like I wouldn't be the the edge lord one. I'd just be like, it just like
No, I
be fun kind of thing. Like
I had a rogue a couple years
Like,
ago
what
that was
you
a bounty hunter.
really.
He was a rogue ranger multi-class because this was 3.5 and multi-classing was so much easier at 3.5. But yeah, he was a rogue ranger multi-class and he was a bounty hunter. And he was a halfling.
Rangers are so fun. Like I've played a ranger, and she's awesome. Like even before like being level 3, just having that hunter's mark. Like oh my god, that's so OP. Like
Yeah, Hunter's Mark is really good in 5e.
5e kind of did the Rangers any kind of justice.
None. There. If they would have focused on making rangers just pure like archer builds, then yeah. But like even in 3.5, you always had the option between the archer or the two-handed fighter. But
what about
like
revised ranger?
the revised ranger is still lackluster compared to the other classes. But we can all agree that the worst sub archetype for monk is elemental monk.
Because you're basically the avatar, but you gotta use up most of your key points to do anything.
It's so bad compared to like the other ones.
Drunken Master is a lot
Like,
of
it is-
fun. Like oh my god, it's
Yeah.
like you can make yourself drunk and just to add like an AC bonus kind of deal.
Well,
And like
back on the topic, for me at least, a future build I'm actually making to be a replacement character for my blind warrior in our 3.5 game is a Goliath factotum first level. With a factotum is basically just a skill monkey. They get all the skills, but for the rest of it is a barbarian, and we make him a monster hunter.
sorry.
Be like, all right, I'm gonna just have all the knowledges about monsters and just kill them.
I have one. Like this isn't like it's still kind of on topic, but it's like a new thing I just thought of. Like, have y'all ever what's y'all's favorite one shot y'all ever done? Just like total BS. Like it's a couple hour game. That's it. Like you had to build real quickly.
The only
And, like,
one
the game
shot that I've played is one that's actually lasted a few months, but that's because we alternate campaigns every weekend and we only play once a day for only like 3 hours, and we bullshit a lot for those 3 hours, or 4 hours or whatever, or however long we decide to play. Is just a high level campaign. DM tries to TPK us, total party kill. Our DM literally told us make 2 characters because I plan to TPK y'all at any point. Yeah, that's
just love that. I love the thought.
But
that,
after
like,
but after we're done with this quote unquote one shot, even though it's taking forever, we're going to go to a Star Wars Saga, which is a Star Wars a tabletop RPG. Which is funny because even the one guy in our group who knows nothing about Star Wars is excited for this campaign.
It looks like such a fun RPG, to be
I'm
honest.
gonna be honest. I've heard about the Star Wars RPG. You know, it's kind of good. It's kind of cool. You know?
There's a couple of them. We're doing the Star Wars Saga one, which is a mix of like 3.5 and 4, I think. But I haven't played any 4E campaigns, so
If
I'll
you
tell you.
kind of like want a like rough estimation of what it's gonna kind of be, have you ever played like Star Wars: The Old Republic? You know, not the one with like Revan, but the one where you make your own Jedi and whatnot.
The one for like the Xbox 360 or the Xbox,
The one that's actually for the PC.
the MMO.
Why
The
would
MMO one. It's kind of like that.
No, I haven't played it.
I have?
What is this heresy? Heresy.
I don't have.
Everything
I've
all of it. I haven't played.
Excuse me.
I've never had a good enough PC to play like MMOs like that, and also my parents won't let me.
It is a free game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it is a free.
I mean, okay, I don't. My parents won't let me because they don't want shit downloaded on like the family PC. But I actually,
you know, it's not like it's World of Warcraft or anything.
no, I know, and I don't care for WoW either. So, but I really don't care. What about you, Ninja? Any future builds in mind?
I kind of got like 2 that I kind of want to try out. One of them is being just kind of a barehanded gladiator that I just thought of making. Because usually it's always with the barbarian is like, oh, it's big axes and it's, you know, just like kind of like this mainstream how everybody plays the barbarian. But I kind of wanted to try something new, so gladiator that just fights barehanded was something that I wanted to try.
So you would take like the tavern brawler feat?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And another one I wanted to try was actually a homebrew one. Jen knows this about me. I'm a big fan of professional wrestling, and someone actually had made a subclass for the barbarian where you're a professional wrestler. And
That's great.
I loved it. I love it, and it's just
So
perfect
cool.
for me.
That was so cool. I played with somebody doing that, and it was hilarious, mostly because he kept freaking missing everything. He just like body slammed the ground, like, oh, God.
That's right, it's not the cream of the crop, yeah.
Like, his only weapon, I think he carried around an alien gun. He used it to melt one of our party members. It's like, holy shit, why did you do this?
So do you guys want to do the favorite campaign topic, or you just want to skip to the video game one?
We can do the favorite campaign, but I won't be honest. When she brought that up, I kind of thought something like in the back of my mind, which was that Skyrim build of Macho Man Randy Savage as the dragon.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. When I saw that, it was just hilarious.
Oh my god.
But I'm going to the next section. Favorite campaigns, is that right?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I mean,
the campaign that we're currently just completely stuck on because we haven't been doing this for a really long time. So sorry, everybody.
Hello.
One of my favorite ones, though I know like you guys don't do stuff that I'm assuming is like the campaign we're doing. You know, but
Yeah.
to me, this is my favorite one because this is the first one I've ever had for a long time.
no, I get that. I want to say my favorite is the one with my blind warrior, because I like the whole like tracking down the lich. We actually have the lich's son, because it's a female lich, helping us out because he doesn't want her to take over the world or destroy the world or whatever. My in real life D&D group is great, even though we're not technically allowed to play because quarantine, because it sucks.
The C word.
Yes.
You know what that means? Continue ours.
Well, we're also actually planning to continue ours over Discord as well. And also, I have another campaign that is Greek mythology based, which I'm heavily relying on the Percy Jackson books, segueing back to that as influence. But it's in like ancient Greece, so it's not in modern times. But I'm also putting my own spin on it. I'm trying to make my own story without heavily relying on the Percy Jackson books. I am heavily knowledgeable about Greek mythology. I have a book about Greek myths to help me out if I'm stuck on thing. I always have the internet, but we've only done one session on that, which is our session 0, so I can see how everyone plays. But that group is also really fun. I really can't choose a favorite campaign that I'm doing.
Honestly, if you're gonna do like Greek, you might as well just go with God of War.
I was also going to do that, but also I love the new God of War because that's more story based, but that's also Norse mythology.
Is that him running around just angry and just yelling Zeus or killing everything in sight?
That's 3. That is God of War 3
That is
in a
all-
nutshell.
That is basically
Come on.
all of them.
No, the new one, the new one for the
Except the new one,
PS4 is
except the new one.
great.
1 through 3 is just him angry and killing everything.
Which one was
One
it?
Ascension,
Somebody's just
God
like,
of-
oh, hilarious.
God of War Ascension, God of War 1, God of War 2, God of War, the PSP one, whatever that was called.
I actually can't remember it, but I do remember playing it. It was like super weird. Like it was placed in like, this weird point of time too.
I enjoy all of them because before God of War 4 came out, I like replayed all the God of Wars in order, so I can like just catch up on the story. And even though I really didn't need to, because the new God of War has nothing to do with the old ones.
Canon. I don't know.
Has anybody ever played the game called Dante's Inferno?
Yes, I like. That.
I've seen people play it. I haven't played it myself. I've read the book.
You read that whole big ass book? Oh my god.
Yes.
Are we talking about like the old Dante, like made from?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I've actually
It's
never
not
read
that
it.
long of a book. It's like 200 pages.
Well,
You
it's
just
not
read
bad
the.
because I had
You
to
didn't
do a
read the
project,
entire.
like I had to do like a project about it. I found it like super weird. It was just.
It's a very slow, boring read, I have to agree, but I read the whole thing.
It's not that it's. It's not that it's long. It's that it's in this old time language, even if it is
Yeah.
in English, and it's just so dull. And like,
No,
I
I
have
agree.
the entire Divine Comedy trilogy, and I'm like, I looked at it, and they're like, oh dear God, I'm gonna put you in the bottom of my read pile because.
Yeah. I read it when I was like in middle school, so.
Why? Were you forced to? That's my question.
Okay. But,
No, I read it out. No, I read it out from my.
So
Did you willingly read that?
Yes, I willingly read it.
It's so weird, man. Just saying. Like,
well, some people have to. Some people have to read it just to do it.
that's what I asked. If you had to read it, I would.
What
understand.
about Tess? What's your favorite campaign you've been in?
Like, oh, like I've been in only 2, like I guess you could say official campaigns, like, because online most of it is like bunch of one shots that are just don't even really make a cohesive story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like that's where I play Vanessa, and that's where I play Dula, but like I've been in 2 in real life, and that's one is in for Adventure League, and one was like just this really fun one shot where I played a Goliath bard who had a Goliath dad, of course. It was one of my friends, she played him, and a Kinku dad was another one of my friends, she played him. So
Boy, come over here, boy.
it was a lot of that, like one of my friend PJ, her character was Russian, and my friend Lexi, her character was French, and my character was Irish, because you know that Russian-French border it's just on the tip of Ireland, right? You know, like that's how that works. So that's where we got accents. But like in Adventure League, I guess you could say is my favorite because I mean, hell, I keep going back there for some reason, right? The guy that's my DM, he like straight up will write novels just for fun, and like he's been doing it 20 years, and like he also designs puzzles and stuff like for actual video games and other RPGs and stuff, and like I never solved any of the freaking puzzles because I'm not good at puzzles like at all. But but it's like it's so entertaining, and like he does the best voices. Like Digger, he has this one character named Digger. Is my favorite. He just has a real southern accent like this. Like Digger gonna dig you up some stuff, man. You know, like it's just like every time he says something, I just lose my mind laughing.
I try to do accents, but I really can't most of the time. It's like I tried for a
something right real good.
Yeah, Digger knows what's all in his pile. You understand? Digger knows. Like,
Digger
so if you
knows
try
what's in his pile.
to
You
get
don't
pile,
understand
you
this.
don't,
You don't understand.
Digger, you gonna wish that Digger didn't get on you. That's what you gonna wish.
What you just
So-
say to me, boy? What you just say?
Pretty much that. So like, the only accent I can do actually is Irish sometimes. Like, not fully. Like I had a chance.
I tried to do an Irish accent on St. Patrick's Day because we
British accent isn't that hard. You know, you just talk like this. You kind of
no, I know, but like I couldn't do it all day. Also because I watched Boondock Saints like right before, like the day before St. Patrick's Day, because I was off work.
I freaking love Irish accents. I don't know what it is. I love them. They're part funny and part just I don't know, amazing.
Let's go to the video games we are.
You're in my swamp. Okay.
Let's go to the video games we are playing during this quarantine.
Actually, just real quick
It's
question. Going back to the Dante's Inferno, there was a hilarious scene that someone actually pointed out. Talking about Dante's Inferno, it was just this one comment that said, "A literal man just going to hell, yelling Beatrice 24/7, yelling Beatrice to solve all of his problems."
Yeah.
Okay. But for the year of I want to say 2019. Is it this like previous year, or is it like what's going on this year that you want to talk about?
It's about what game we're playing currently because you know we can't.
Yeah, because quarantine.
It's because quarantine. Like,
What
we
years?
can't talk
Like
about
if you're
that.
playing N64.
No, we can't say the C word.
C or Q. That words those words are out. Like that.
No, you can say quarantine, you just can't say the C word.
Just can't say
There is
the
no
C word.
quarantine, boss. You say.
I've seen that.
Oh man, that's great. Okay, that's great. Oh man, that is. Oh god, that is just funny. All right. I have not actually been currently playing anything. The most current game that I can say I've actually played through and that made me cry was just Red Dead Redemption 2. And
Oh no.
honestly,
I
that's
didn't-
the most current game that I've actually just played. Because Arthur Morgan's my best one, you know. I'm sorry, Dutch. I got tuberculosis and all that, but honestly, that's the only current game that I've been played at all.
No, that's cool.
Tuberculosis thing, and I kind of set it down. You know, like didn't like say, "Oh, this game sucks." I just like set it down, got busy, and completely forgot about it. No,
With
like it's a good game. I don't know why I don't pick it back up, but I'm just like,
I don't like Rockstar games, to be honest.
what?
Like the last Rockstar game I enjoyed was like GTA San Andreas and Vice City.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give you that one because those games are just kind of like the older ones, and they're like the best ones to play.
Yeah.
Especially
One.
with the flying
Like-
car cheat.
Yeah, like I tried playing Red Dead 1, but I just could not get into it.
Red Dead 1 isn't as good as Red Dead 2. Like,
I mean, I like to play games in order. That's why I played through the whole God of War series before God of
to
War
be
4 came
fair,
out.
Red Dead 2
But you
is a
actually gotta play,
prequel
like,
to Red Dead 1.
Series, there's actually one that's before that. It's called Red Dead
See-
Revolver, and good luck trying to find that game because that game was on PS, the very first PlayStation. You're never gonna find
Dude,
that anywhere.
I found Mega Man Legends on the PS3 PSN store for like $10. So, like the 3D Mega Man game.
Okay.
I also found Parasite Eve for.
Mega Man game at all this year?
There was Mega Man 10 last year, or Mega Man 11.
I can't tell anymore.
Yeah, there was.
I finally got around to seeing King of Fighters. That was one. Honestly, I didn't like
The movie?
My favorite character.
Like, there's a movie and a game. I mean, it's a movie. based off the game, obviously.
Yeah.
And the movie was cool. Like, I
Um,
like bad movies. I can enjoy a bad movie. Like, I can find something to
like
enjoy.
I
But
love the old Mortal Kombat movie, even though it's so bad because they CG the fire on the torches.
Yeah, basically. But hey,
Dude,
hey,
the
that one was better than Mortal Kombat 2. Okay, Annihilation.
True.
God all.
It was better than like the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah. We do not talk about that movie. Just like how we do not talk about Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yes, do not talk about that. I've seen so many memes on like Dragon Ball Evolution 2 confirmed for this year, and it's like, no, it isn't.
No.
It isn't. It's
No,
it's all
retcon.
it's all hoax.
Deriving from that,
There's no
I heard at one point that Disney was gonna try to buy Dragon Ball.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
Or
No.
technically they have the. Fuck, I don't even know who has the distributing rights anymore. Because Fox had the distributing rights, which is why Fox made Dragon Ball Evolution. But it also didn't have any influence from Akira Toriyama, the original creator. But at the same time, I don't know.
Let's be honest, it's hard nowadays to even tell who has what anymore.
But with so many clickbait sites like We Got This Covered, comicbook.com, Screen Junk, not Screen Junkies.
Comicbook.com now, because I want this video to stay up on YouTube. I don't need them taking it down because we're talking shit about it.
Okay, there are so many
Totally.
clickbait sites. Don't listen to clickbait sites. Only listen to Variety, Deadline, a handful of others. I can't name all of them off the top of my head. But if anything has We Got This Covered, 99% of it is clickbait BS.
It is honestly most of that.
The only time they get something right is if an official source like Variety or Deadline wrote an article about it first. That's the only time they get something right.
Chandler,
Alright,
what game
so-
are you?
I am currently playing. I am playing the Castlevania Lords of Shadows series. I just beat the first one. I beat Mirror of Fate shortly after. It was a DS game / a HD port to the.
Games, the new series.
Yeah.
That's
No.
pretty dope.
The PS3 games.
Yeah.
Lords of Shadows.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm talking about that one.
Yeah.
I beat the first one. It was really good. I enjoyed the story. Some of the boss fights, because you fight titans, but those boss fights are super boring. The ending boss fight against Satan was really good. I played Mirror of Fate shortly after that, which is a in-between game of 1 and 2, because you play as Simon, Trevor, and Alucard. It explains a little bit. It explains what happens after the first one, because Lords of Shadow 2, which I'm currently on, is in modern times, which is great because I've always wanted a more modern Castlevania game, which you get as with Lords of Shadows 2, but you're playing as Dracula, which is weird because you're not a Belmont. Well, you are a Belmont, but you're not a Belmont. Because Dracula in those games is Gabriel Belmont, which is the first Belmont. But it's also a spin-off series of the normal Castlevania games.
Don't try to explain it. You're gonna get Tess confused.
Yes, but I've also been replaying The Last of Us, getting ready for Last of Us 2. I am waiting. Well, that's actually going to be our next topic, so I'm going to wait on that. Replaying God of War. I finally beat Final Fantasy 15 after I bought it when it first came out.
I know for sure. Final Fantasy 7 the remake is one game that I'm definitely gonna try to get.
I enjoyed the demo for it, but I've never been a 7 fan. I like steampunk and all, but I personally think 7 is overhyped. I think 9 deserves a true remake.
You get on my channel right now. Get out of my channel right now.
Why? 9 is good. 8 and 9 are good. My voice is cracked.
The ones I gotta admit, 8 and 9, yeah, they're good. 7's also good. I forgot which one was the one with he had a gun blade, and I forgot which one that one was.
That's 8.
That's it, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was the one.
That's cool.
So yeah, 9 and 8 are good, but I'm gonna be honest with you. The 11 and the older ones with lightning, I don't really like
You mean
at all.
13?
Yeah,
The 13 series?
yeah, I didn't like that.
I never played 13. I tried getting into 12. I even got like the enhanced edition on the PS4. Even with like the speed of combat, I just couldn't get into it because I hate that combat system. In my opinion, 10 is by far my favorite Final Fantasy game. I beat like half the game without the spear grid system, which because I didn't understand it when I was younger, until I finally figured it out. Like I was halfway through the game. Like I was at after your main party became fugitives. That's when I figured out that I could level up using the spear grid system.
Let's be honest. When Final Fantasy Dissidia came out, which is just basically like Final Fantasy Smash, I kind of did like it because it basically brought all the favorites of each series.
No, I want to get the Dissidia, but I feel like it's just too late.
Wait, are we talking about the one for the PSP or the one that they put for like the PS4?
The new one.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. I say definitely go get it, man. It's a pretty good game, you know. Again, it's Smash, but
I'll
into that.
Then the next game I plan on getting is Catherine Full Body.
Captain Full
Right?
Body?
Catherine.
Catherine. Oh.
It's
No way.
it's
that game.
it's an Atlas game.
Yeah,
Sega/Atlas. I mean, I hear it's a good game. I'm intrigued by it just from the trailers and stuff. So because it's coming on the Switch,
when I first saw it, man.
It's coming to the Switch, but I want to get it on the PS4 because it's only like $30 on the PS4 now. But I need to wait until I have my job back so I can actually have money.
Right? Like, oh. Is there anything happening that would cause such a thing?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's the word that we cannot speak of in this chat.
Because this video will get flagged, which I think is
does not flag at first, but anyways.
We're such a small channel at this point where they're not going to flag us.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think they would. Oh, that's actually kind of bold because when me and Jen tried to put our Alexander X test video on there, it wouldn't go on there for some reason.
What?
Yeah.
What was with
Because of the music that we had, it was like, oh, it's copyrighted. I'm like, how is it copyrighted? It's just random medieval music. No one uses this music. But apparently, they said like, oh no, it can't happen because YouTube.
I wasn't.
So Tess, what games are you playing?
I'm like during this forced vacation. I'm technically not playing any games quite yet. Like I haven't done anything because I've been on vacation for this week. Like literally, Nick can attest that because that's where I was, being accosted by the police. So we so I haven't got a chance to play any games. But the last game I did play was Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I really enjoyed that.
I still need to beat Odyssey.
I haven't beat it, but I'm enjoying it.
I enjoyed Origins. I enjoyed Odyssey to an extent.
I have Origins, but I haven't played that yet. Like that's my next Assassin's game.
I stopped liking Assassin's Creed after Black Flag. Like I can go replay the Ezio saga anytime because I have I have the trilogy. I have the enhanced trilogy for the PS4. I also have all 3 games on my PS3 if my PS4 ever dies on me for whatever reason. I have Black Flag for the PS3. Just I can't get into 4 for some reason. I also enjoyed 3, but I enjoyed the 2.
Okay, like
my man. I enjoyed the story around 3, but I feel like the characters in 2 Brotherhood and Revelations were just more
kind of like appealing,
Yeah. Also, I have a thing for no, not Italian. Renaissance Italy.
Yeah, that sure.
Yeah,
That's what they're calling it now.
like Renaissance era Rome and stuff like that.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
it was kind of like the better
Why
time.
did
I
you
also kind
get?
of did like 3 and like the setting 3 took place in.
I did like the set. I didn't like how there was not enough areas of parkour in.
That is also
Like,
that is also
Assassin's Creed is about parkour.
Yeah, like what the heck is with that? Like, oh, it's mostly woodlands. Like, oh, great, because
You can
trees.
parkour in the trees, but that's no fun.
The only cool thing about this though is that you can hang somebody from the tree. The only cool thing
Alright,
about this.
do you guys want to do favorite video games of this generation or games we're waiting for to come out if the end of the world doesn't happen?
Strange
Video
reason
games
we
that are
cannot.
coming out right now. Honestly, one that I'm actually waiting is the Ghost of Tomisha or the Ghost of Tomishu or something like that.
Tsushima?
Yeah, the Ghost of Tsushima, and I was actually hoping to get that game right as I got done with Neo, but apparently something happened when Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice came out that they kind of got in like a battle.
They delayed it.
Yeah, and they had to delay it, and I was just kind of like super sad because like, oh, the graphics are good, the time period is great, the character setting and what you're doing is also very awesome.
Also, I enjoy Sucker Punch. Like, I love the Infamous games. Like, the Infamous games are a guilty pleasure of mine.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're
like
good.
why
I think
why
1
be guilty?
and 2 were the best. 3, I couldn't get into Infamous 3.
The Second Son.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it. It just
I
wasn't the same.
I like the story around Second Son because apparently before Second Son came out, when they were originally developing an Infamous 3 to begin with, they had a poll online for what ending are we going to base Infamous 3 off of, the good ending of Infamous 2 or the bad ending of Infamous 2. Everyone chose the good ending. I think it was like a 90-10 percentile between the good and the bad ending.
That was Infamous 2 ending where the lightning hit. So is Cole alive or is he dead?
The good ending, Cole dies.
But that lightning
The
bolt makes sense to me though, like at the very end of it.
I don't. It's been a while. It's been forever since I played Infamous 2. But
Yeah, if you just watch the ending, it's like a lightning bolt hits the coffin. It's just like, wait, so did he come back, or did the lightning bolt just hit like the significance of him leaving?
I think it's more of a significance of him leaving because lightning was his power
Maybe he became lightning. Like they could bring it back if they're doing an Infamous 4. Like, he's a lightning.
He's
being
a god.
now. Yeah, essentially.
He's basically
Zeus?
Zeus or whatever.
I mean, he
Raiden,
can't
yeah.
really die because of the whole electric thing, because basically he just needs electricity to come back. But
Yeah,
again, if they do that, they're just gonna like, we knew he was gonna come back the whole time, and
I think if they go to the Infamous series, I feel like they should do a inverse of Second Son. It's like Infamous 3, but the bad ending of Infamous 2, where the conduits are taking over the world, essentially.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening.
Even if it's like a 10-hour game, make it $30 instead of 60.
This is a corporation. They're gonna make it 60.
Okay, true, because
$59.99.
Like prices or 60 or freaking $40 or something like that.
I mean,
Making the cake, those sweet Ubisoft Sucker Punch $1 Rottweiler.
Ubisoft isn't affiliated with Sucker Punch.
Oh, I know, but Ubisoft makes you pay a lot for stupid shit online.
Like EA?
For Honor.
Like EA? No, that's all EA. That's all EA.
Let's not forget Rainbow Six.
Yeah. Okay, game I'm excited for this generation, or a game that I'm currently waiting for, Last of Us 2, because I got the collector's edition for that. So I'm a sucker for good statues, and that statue is amazing.
I thought it was actually supposed to come out like a few years ago, because that's what I heard. But I'm assuming it got delayed or something. Or
no,
that was supposed to come out that year.
I think that was a rumor because they were working on a because Naughty Dog was working on Uncharted 4 after Last of Us 1, and they've also have other like smaller projects, like updating the Jack series on PS4 because that game was broken on PS4.
Actually, that's actually another good one. When are they actually going to come back with another Jack and Dexter series, another game? I know
They're not,
but
because that's Insomniac. But I think Naughty Dog sold the rights to Jack and Dexter. That's why the last Jack and Dexter Last Frontier or whatever it was called for the PSP, and the Daxter game on the PSP, they weren't Naughty Dog. But yeah, I'm waiting for Last of Us 2. I'm waiting for Persona 5 Royale, which comes out literally in like
honestly,
3 days.
I've tried Persona 5. I could not get into it. It was just not my
It's a very slow build up, but after you get like 10 hours in, it's good. You also have to remember that is a 100-hour long gameplay game. Oh, yeah, maybe not 10 hours, like 5 hours.
To like beat the main story mission or to beat all of it?
To be like the main story is like 100 hours. My first playthrough was 101 hours. And Persona 5 R is adding like 30 hours of gameplay, reworked palaces, 3 new characters, reworked mechanics. It's adding it's retweaking a lot of things. But Alice does this a lot because like Persona 3 and Persona 4 had enhanced editions as well. Persona 3 had Persona 3 Fez, and then Persona 4 Golden. But I'm also excited for Spider-Man 2 because apparently that's going to be coming out like a year after the PS5 drops. Whenever God of War 2 comes, or God of War 5/2 or whatever whenever that.
We say
Yeah.
we're gonna be like, oh, what? You mean God of War? The remake of God of War 2? No, it's God of War 5.
No, God of War 5, Ghost of Tsushima Like You, Cyberpunk 2077. Apparently, CD Projekt Red is also working on a Witcher 4.
I did hear about that, but I don't remember like what they were gonna do. Is it gonna still be about Geralt, or is it just gonna be about Ciri now?
I think it's still going to be about Geralt, but I'm not 100% sure. There's still that.
If it's kind of like in one of the endings of The Witcher 3, where it's Geralt and Ciri that go off and become Witchers together, I can totally see that happening. But if it's like Geralt,
I mean,
and just like going on another adventure, it's just gonna be,
but the really weird thing is, the first Witcher game takes place 5 years after the last book. Because the games are basically a what-if scenario.
Yeah.
So.
What if
And I'm.
the author does not like for some reason?
Really?
Yeah, he does not like the video games at all.
But he's given the rights to CD Projekt Red a million times. Like CD Projekt Red has to renew the rights to do Witcher 4.
Yeah, he might have given him the rights, but he doesn't like the series. In a sense.
Really, I didn't know that. That Batman Arkham game that's supposed to be coming out. That's been it's been teased a million times so far. But I'm.
Batman didn't go through more shit that he already did.
He did.
It's
he did Arkham City on it. What's that?
Come on, man.
It's supposed to be a prequel to Asylum, but a sequel to Origins.
What?
Because it's supposed the head rumor is it's supposed to involve the Court of Owls.
Okay. Well, I can see.
What about is cool, but oh my god, you don't need to do an Asylum. You don't need to do the Arkham City crap again. You've already
Beating the dead horse?
done it.
I don't know. There's been so many rumors and so many accusations for this game. I'm losing hope on it, but I'm still having like just a little bit, just in case.
If they're
Because
gonna, they might as well just continue off where it left and just say like, oh well, yeah, he survived, and like now the
or Damien.
pretending that he's the city now. The quarter hours are just taking over the city.
Or Damien,
Every time.
or
Or Dick.
Tave, or Dick, or Jason, because Jason's alive.
Let's be honest.
Make Jason back.
That whole J scar on his face. It's
Yes, the ending for Arkham Knight with the Arkham Knight was very predictable.
oh,
Yeah,
very.
because they're gonna be
You
Red
kind
Hood.
of knew who that was right away.
Once they said, "Oh hey, a new villain coming," and like they explained the little bit of backstory about the Arkham Knight, it's like, oh, it's Jason. Like everyone guessed that.
Oh, it's Jason.
Yeah.
That's why I don't read like reviews of upcoming games and stuff. It's because like, if you
Because of spoilers.
exactly who this is, great.
Yeah, but apparently they brought Arkham Knight into the comics proper as a different character overall, which I'm kind of excited for.
Wait, as in like in the main canon of DC, or like in the?
Yep. Because they also did the same thing with the Phantasm for Mask of the Phantasm,
Okay, I heard about that one.
but that was like a year ago.
But
But they're doing Arkham Knight like proper Arkham Knight, or a not Red Hood replacement for Arkham Knight.
Almighty.
and
You know what's sad is I'm absolutely going to buy that game. Like, 'cause, like, fuck, it's
Whenever it
Batman.
comes out, whenever it comes
Like, oh.
out,
Give a
Yeah,
kiss
but,
to Red
my
Hood.
e-greenness right there.
yeah, but my picks are Spider-Man 2, God of War 5, Last of Us 2.
I mean, in the new Spider-Man game, you already kind of know who's gonna be the main villain in it. You just know who it is.
Huh? What?
In the Spider-Man 2 one, where it's gonna be like, the Spider-Man 2 made by Insomniac, you know who's gonna be the main villain in that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be Venom and Green Goblin, because there was major hints of that in the end of the first one,
Like major hints, like there was no.
and like it's going to be a Peter and Miles story, which I really like because I like the Spider-Man comics. That was a really fun storyline.
Yeah.
I've not read that.
Especially the Spider-Verse. I did like the Spider-Verse. It was really
And Spider-Verse is good, but there is a comic book title called Spider-Man, where it's Peter and Miles, and like they be spider people together. Because there are a million spider people. Because there's Ben, there's Kane, there's Peter, there's Miles, there's Gwen, there's
Mary
there-
Jane, there's their daughter.
there's
Yeah, I've heard.
Mayday Parker.
Spider-Man.
Dude, Mayday Parker is my favorite alternate universe
What?
Spider-Man. Spider-Person though.
There's even like well,
There's Spider-Hand, there's Noir, there's Ultimate, there's
There's
Oh.
2099 best Spider-Man, because let's
20.
be honest, Spider-Man 2099 has a very very cool ass costume. That's not a lie.
It does.
I even like his white one.
Yeah, I like his white.
I
one
like
too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like
But
the white and
It's so weird because they always introduce like a new concept, and while we're at this, might as well just going back onto the comics that we're reading too. And how come every time you guys in the comic series they always introduce a new suit in like 2 to 3?
but then they go back to the old one.
Yeah, and then they go back to the old one, like what they did with like Batman's suit in the new 52.
And-
they went back to the old one. It's like
It's just to like people to go, oh look, shiny and new, and people who don't read it are like, oh, I may now look at this new cover because I will
I'm
just buy the cover.
Or it
That's
could be
all.
to, like bad feedback, because that Scarlet Spider suit that I showed y'all had a lot of bad feedback, even though I think it's a dope ass suit.
I mean, when I first saw it, it was alright. Then when I look at it again, I'm like, oh god, I remember how nobody.
I like the hoodie. The,
I don't
like,
like the blue one. I like the black and red.
It's like you could have just.
Or I like-
made a version of it.
I don't know. But in more recent comics for Scarlet Spider, they did go back to the blue hoodie, which I'm kind of sad about.
Well, I mean, that's like his most iconic and everybody's most favorite, even though my personal favorite is
Yeah.
the Spectacular Spider-Man. That one,
Oh, with the big black spider.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah, that
Um,
was the best one.
uh, what is y'all's favorite Spider-Man costume in the thing of topics?
If we're talking about it,
particular Spider-Man one.
Like any Spider-Man costume.
any Spider-Man, not just Peter
He
Parker.
has the unlimited version in that series.
Ooh.
If any of you have seen Spider-Man Unlimited, I actually did like that one.
I enjoyed the concept of it, but I'm sad it only got like what
13
20 episodes.
Yeah.
13. It was only 13 episodes. I
Ooh.
thought it was
13
longer than that.
episodes.
I swear I thought it was longer than that, but okay.
It was not well received, and
Yeah.
plus Disney had other shows going on at the same time, like like Gargoyles,
Yeah.
all these other ones, and Spider-Man just kind of got put on the back burner.
Yeah. These Spider-Man Unlimited was supposed to be a sequel to the 90s Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a sequel to it, but
Or like a pseudo sequel.
yeah, but it just got put on the back burner.
I enjoyed the designs for Venom and Carnage in that, even though they were like the worst
Oh.
designs ever.
Their designs kind of made them it made them look like what they were, aliens. Similar
Yeah.
Things that didn't look
Yeah.
didn't look like it was supposed to be natural. That's what I liked about it.
What was the one where
No.
he like took a year off being Spider-Man and invented all this tech that he made to be Spider-Man for some reason? Like, you basically quit this job. Why are you doing this?
You mean like the
Right?
more recent comics where he had Parker Industries?
Look,
But
my
he
thing
was
is- I
still
like
being
when-
Spider-Man when he had Parker Industries.
I'm talking
Because
about.
because Parker Industries.
I'm talking about.
Wait, what?
I'm talking about Unlimited, the sequel.
That was when he was busy doing the CEO stuff. There was somebody else that was
Miles.
was it Miles? 'Cause I feel like
There's also comic runs where like, oh hey, Peter needs to be in the same place as Spider-Man, so hey, Daredevil, go in the Spider-Man costume real quick.
I remember that. Oh god.
But at the same time, my favorite, the Unlimited suit is dope, I have to agree, but I really like the advanced suit from the PS4 game with the white spider.
Oh yeah, that suit was gnarly. Bro.
It's so clean. It's
So
like,
nice.
dude, I have all the suits unlocked in my file because I'm doing a new game plus run slowly but surely because it gets kind of repetitive. I agree, but and I've platinumed Spider-Man, but the like I even with all the suits unlocked, I always go back to the white spiders. It's like it's so clean, it fits so well.
Right? It's just so nice.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, by the way, I just remember this one. In the Spider-Verse, there was an Aunt May Spider-Man.
Yeah, I remember that. There was also a Spider Cop
Yeah, there was also
in a Spider-Geddon because that's when they actually had PS4 Spider-Man in a Spider-Verse event. He was like, "There's a Spider Cop." Half man, half spider, all cop.
Imagine his theme song. Yeah, like,
She didn't know Spider Cop did things. Spider, because he was just a broke kid. Oh god.
oh,
No,
God.
like
It was really the big time one. Like it was when Tron first came out, and it was totally against that, but it was
the stealth suit,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was so
The-
neat.
the big time stealth suit.
Yeah, that was so neat. Like that's one I usually use in the video game,
Hmm.
the Spider-Man game. Like that, it just looks so pretty. It's so shiny, and sleek.
Well, The
Like,
whole point of the stealth suit was to get around Shocker's sonic waves.
It wasn't just about being stealthy.
yeah, no, it
Yeah.
wasn't. Like he made a
I don't-
Rhino suit. He made a suit to fight Rhino when he lost his
He
his Spidey sense.
he also
one of
made
the-
a suit. Oh, the iron, like the
Iron
spider
Spider.
armor.
Yeah, no, it's not Iron
The spider armor.
Yeah,
The spider
like
armor.
yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I mean. But
Yeah, because there's a Spider
That's
Armor Mark
cool.
1, which was like just the silver metal armor. There's a Spider Armor Mark 2, which was more, which was black. the black and yellow suit.
Yeah.
Because that was bulletproof. The Spider Armor Mark III was the more bulky looking one.
Wasn't that the one
And
that
then-
had like that weird silver armor looking plating to it? Or was that like the very first one?
That was the first one.
Yeah, I
The
remember.
Spider Armor Mark III was red. It had the weird oblong shaped head.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Now I remember. Yeah.
And then the Spider Armor Mark IV, which is his Parker Industries, which is the normal Spider-Man looking, just a normal Spider-Man looking costume, but it was like very strong material.
Kind of had that like 2099 feel to it. Like futuristic, but not too futuristic.
Yeah, because it had the glowing green spider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite out of the armors.
Honestly, departing from the whole Spider-Man thing, there is a few new comics that I am also reading. One of them is being He-Man, Master of the Multiverse, and how that's like, an evil version of He-Man is going throughout the multiverse. And yes, this is also counting for the He-Man that's in Masters of the Universe in that one movie. If any of you guys.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. So there's that He-Man, a He-Man for an Easter egg comic, and a good version of Skeletor going and trying to find this evil He-Man before killing all the He-Man in the multiverse.
It's Skeletor. What?
Because apparently that evil He-Man wants the ultimate power of each universe, essentially.
Oh, it's like the one.
Right.
And it's pretty good series so far. I liked it, and I'm kind of like waiting for the third issue to come out. It actually might be out right now, so I'm gonna see if I can hopefully go to a near comic book store and snag that one. But
Are comic book stores still open by you?
possibly, though I don't want to say.
They're
yes.
essential. They're essential, Jammer.
They're very essential in this time of need.
Essential. Comic books are essential.
They're essential, damn it.
Yeah.
What else would
That's
I do if I don't have toilet paper?
That's why I love comicsology.
Exactly. Another thing that I'm also reading is that even though I've like many years way too late, I am still reading G.I. Joe Real American Heroes, and
Oh wow.
and I have learned something about Snake Eyes. Spoiler alert: he died at one point in the comics. Officially
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, forgive me. And there has been two people that have taken his mantle, but now that I think about it, and if we go back to the TV series, Snake Eyes died of radiation poisoning. So does that mean there has been more than one Snake Eyes in the whole G.I. Joe?
Yes.
I mean, it's a title, not a name. It's a nickname, essentially. Like
It's like
it,
Thor
Cosmo?
because Jade Foster Thor's a
No.
thing.
Oh no,
No.
we're
No. Thor is a name. Thor is his name. Don't know. Jane Foster is not freaking Thor, okay? Like, she's something else. And for one, she shouldn't be Thor. It should have been Valkyrie. Oh my freaking god.
It doesn't
Like,
make
or
sense.
Sif.
It
Like,
doesn't
she's-
make sense at all.
She was
Like,
worthy.
what
She
the
had
heck?
cancer every time she
What
got.
the
Every time
shit?
she used the powers of Thor, she had to restart her chemo.
Okay, that doesn't make her worthy. Okay, well, like, the thing is I would be less upset if they didn't name her freaking Thor, because that is
She
his
was-
name,
She was
not
Lady
a
Thor.
title.
Hey, at least
She was
got
not
Falcon.
Thor.
Technically-
She was not Thor.
Falcon got it on with an Asgardian. That's all it is.
That's the most important part.
Most
The
important
takeaway.
part.
All right. Tess, what games are you excited for?
Actually, here's another thing that I think Marvel kind of forgets. What the hell ever happened to Beta Ray Bill?
He's still
Who
around.
gives a shit?
Exactly. Who gives a shit?
He's a beta. Right in his name. No one gives a fuck about him.
He's a horseman. We don't care about him.
Horseman
Our
8
fake
people.
beta. Okay, go on
Anyway.
back to the game. Okay.
The game.
Oh man.
I'm looking forward to, I guess, the Spider-Man 2 and what was it? The 2047 game or 2077? What the
Yeah,
cyberpunk.
that too.
Yeah. It's just- it looks very interesting, and like as you can tell, I'm pretty shallow. Like if it looks nice, I'm like, ooh, this might be fun to play. Like I'll look into it more, you know. So it's really shiny. That's why I want to play it. I think it honestly probably has a fairly interesting, fun storyline to do. You know.
No, I get that.
Okay, just like everybody like maybe it doesn't. Anyway.
Beta Ray Bill was in the Unworthy Thor storyline.
Yeah, well, like how
How
many
is he
appearances had he
unworthy?
made before that? And it's kind of weird because that's like the only time that I have seen him in like one of Thor's comics, unless he's been in like more than one, and it's just like a very slight appearance, like he's just in one panel and that's it.
I think he's more. I think he appears every once in a while in like more space-based characters. So Captain Marvel, the Guardians, etc.
Yeah, that may be true. That is actually possibly because he is by technicality an alien. And let me get this off my chest. Asgard is not a realm that you can fly a spaceship to. Marvel MCU.
Exactly. Oh my god! Like
it is not somewhere that you can reach with the spaceship. It is literally a magical realm that you gotta have to go through with the special.
I want to know. I want to know. By the way, speaking of that, why the hell was Hel? Why was that Thor and Loki's sister? When in the comics and mythology, Hel is Loki's freaking daughter.
Because they wanted. Because Hela in Ragnarok was not really Hela. She was an amalgamation of like 3 different characters. She was an amalgamation of Gore the God Butcher, which is a more recent Thor villain who is great. He should be a villain on his own right. Hela proper, and then one more who I can't remember the name of. I think Enchantress maybe,
Yeah,
because she had a
Enchantress too.
yeah. Because the MCU likes to do amalgams of villains
I
and
think
call
that's
them
big bad.
Let's be
Why
honest.
is it-
like Whiplash. In my opinion, Iron Man 2, the villain should have been Crimson Dynamo. He would have still been Russian. He would have been a good analog for Iron Man, and he's not and he's better than Whiplash, because I didn't even know Whiplash was a villain until Iron Man 2, to be honest. But I knew about Crimson Dynamo because I played like Ultimate Alliance. Crimson Dynamo was a big part, he had a part in Ultimate Alliance.
Let's be honest. Iron Man is the slow burn villain of the MCU and like the Marvel universe itself. He
I
started.
feel like that could be a video on its own. I
can literally go on a 2-hour rant about this because I've done it before. And like, no,
Video on
Iron
its
Man-
own.
no, he's not. He stole She-Hulk's power. He is forever a villain in my eyes. Like, fuck you.
Let's
Like-
be honest. Let's be honest with one character in the Iron Man series. That is, by God, the most horrible one. It's Mandarin.
Pepper?
Mandarin was the most god awful villain in that series.
But
What
that-
the hell? Yeah, what
But
the hell?
neither of that was Mandarin. They're going to do a proper Mandarin in Shang-Chi.
Really? They're gonna do a proper
They-
Mandarin in Shang-Chi, even though that's not even a
They-
Shang-Chi villain.
Mandarin is Shang-Chi's
No.
father.
Spoilers.
Yes, spoilers for a comic that's been out for a while. Yeah,
Still-
Mandarin is Shang-Chi's father. Shang-Chi Mandarin could totally be a Shang-Chi villain. Because because the Ten Rings organization could technically be anyone villain. The Ten Rings showed up in Ant-Man, for Christ's sake, but Mandarin proper could also be other people's villains. He could be a Doctor Strange villain because magic. He could be a
Could be an Avengers villain, to be fair. Like,
yeah, he could be an Avengers villain because Mandarin is freaking powerful as anything.
No,
Like,
that's
the-
very much true. That is very much true.
like the anime shows like Doctor Doom is a Avengers level villain.
If they can even get the right one, because every time they feel like they got him, it's always an android.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
such a
comics.
cop-out.
That's such a bad cop out in my opinion, but yeah.
Yeah, we finally
Hi,
got him. No, it's
it was
all
really
shit.
not me all along.
It's like, aha,
It's
I've
kind
been
of like
a,
the reverse.
because
It's like the reverse.
Doombots are because Doombots are a thing.
This man has workable, actual robots, and he's
Let's
just
go
gonna
back to
take
the.
over everything. Oh,
This should have been
we
just
keep coming back to
the-
why we hate Marvel. Apparently,
this should have just been this should have just been like an MCU slash comic book.
yeah. Well, I think we
Podcast.
should do it like a strict MCU video at one point, and just
MCU comic book, comparing like
Yeah.
both of them to
Yeah.
comics, man. I
Yeah.
definitely
Okay.
And like
so
actually like
speaking of
list our like, do you like our favorite Marvel or MCU movies from like least to the best, or
okay, so like, okay, back on the actual topic of the comics. The comic and manga I'm reading like currently,
that's not even the
isn't that what
current-
we're on?
no, we're on
You were talking.
favorite.
I thought we did. Like, I
No,
don't even know where we're at anymore.
we were still on favorite video games of this
We already
generation.
did the game. We already did the video game.
Yeah, she,
The
ones we were looking
Jennifer told about the one that she
Yeah.
liked, the one that she's waiting about.
Oh yeah, we did. Right, we did.
Yeah, so we're on
yeah,
to
then comics and manga that we're reading.
Oh,
If you've ever read, there's a couple like mangas that I'm reading. There's All Rounder Megaru. There's, God, it's a long name. I'm gonna go try. It's a karate manga, and then there's, Bro no Kilo. I think it's basically it translates into how heavy are the dumbbells that you lift, and it's.
Oh, I love that.
Have you seen it?
I love the hell out of that series. It's funny.
It is.
It's some good actual knowledge from actual workouts too.
Exactly, and like, if you ever watch Jack's Blade on YouTube,
Oh, I love Jack.
like, yeah, he does he's an actual like physical therapist and trainer, and he does that.
Yeah.
Trainers react to it, and like he'll tell you what's legit and what's not, and like he's pretty much like the entire like legit, like this is awesome. Like he's just mostly fanboying out about the series. Like I'll warn you, like when you first watch it, he screams like this high pitch, like if you have dogs, they're gonna howl because they're so loud. I'm like, what the hell? He's just like, ah! I'm like, oh my god. So like mute it for like 30 seconds until he's done screaming, and then it's a really fun video to watch.
All right. I've been reading. Well, back to the topic of Spider-Man. I've been reading the City of the Never, or the comic that tells the same story as the PS4 game, but adds more to it. Like, cause it added Swarm to it, going back to the Nazi bees.
Damn bees! I knew it.
Cause and like it added like more in-depth stories or in-depth moments. I've also been trying to catch up on the Dragon Ball Super manga because it's already overtaken the Super anime. I've also been like rereading like Blue Exorcist, and actually no, I've been watching Blue Exorcist.
Talking about Blue Exorcist, is the manga still going? Because I have no idea. Because there's sometimes
I don't know if the manga's.
it's just weird.
I don't know if what's going on with the Blue Exorcist manga, because I know that the original anime for Blue Exorcist overtook the manga, but a lot of people enjoyed the ending that the anime did. But then they did the Kyoko saga, which follows the manga after the point where the original overpassed it. So it's just like continue on from after Ren loses his unleashes his flames against that one demon in the forest when they were all training or camping or whatever. It's been a while since I watched the anime. Um, yeah, so the Kyoto Saga just goes after that, and then yeah, I've more been like reading actual books and watching anime and cartoons and stuff.
Yeah. Well, for the mangas that I have been reading, King and Ashura and King and Omega.
I have been reading the Darth Vader series that came out this year. That's really good.
Which one is that one? Because I've seen like so many Darth Vader ones. I'm actually gonna be honest. Like, why are they still milking Darth Vader?
Because he's the dopest. Because he's the dopest villain. Also, because the new comics that Marvel are releasing are in between stories of the movies, because there's like 3 years in between 4 and 5. There's like a year between episodes 5 and 6. So, yeah, but the Darth Vader manga or anime comic, the one that came out this year, it's the 2020 Darth Vader comic, takes place after A New Hope, and it's great. The one that came out last year, 2 years ago, something like that, it was good, but it wasn't as good as the current one. Yeah.
Well, I've actually gone back to read like the old ones, like Knights of the Old Republic, and I've been reading mostly the Star Wars of the Dark Horse comics, and I gotta say, this is pretty good stuff. I kind of do like how they how like the designs of characters and all that are just like have this very dark tone to them, especially with Cade Skywalker, because essentially when that comic series was essentially done, that time was when Disney kind of brought everything. So, yeah, I gotta say, XR Kun is actually possibly my most favorite Jedi turned Sith character within the entire series, right up there with Revan.
Really?
But going back to manga, I've been actually catching up to Kinnikuman. If y'all don't know what Kinnikuman is, it's basically Muscle Man, or if you're like me and grew up like in the like early to mid 20s, or not mid 20s. Damn, I'm old.
Yeah. Wow.
early to mid 2000s. There was a show called Ultimate Muscle. I'm not sure if you've seen that on 4Kids. Yeah. Kinnikuman is actually like the series talking about his dad, and I've been reading it, and it's pretty good. I didn't think I would actually like a series that started way back when. And here's another funny thing. How come most of these mangas are just parodies of like other stories?
It's just like tell the same.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. One Punch Man is just a
Well,
parody.
One Punch Man is of Superman.
Yeah. Okay, like that I agree with, but it's like I don't watch One Punch Man because like I'm probably gonna be like murdered for saying this, but I find it so boring. Like
I enjoyed the first season. I enjoyed the concept. It is a very guilty pleasure anime. But then again, I prefer like Boku no Hero or My Hero Academia. I prefer like Soul Eater. I really wish Soul Eater would get another season because the manga still went on after where the anime left off.
I wish an anime that would pick up again, and probably won't because the voice actress for one of the characters passed away in like a car crash, right? But Kenichi Shirahama from History's Strongest Disciple.
Oh.
That's such an amazing story arc, and like where it leaves off is where it really gets good with like if you've seen the OVAs, whatever.
Who remembers Bobo?
Oh god,
Oh,
please.
with with the mustache power. With the mustache power.
I remember one episode where he tried to do a Kamehameha wave and it came out like this like old ragged old man. It was just
Yeah,
that was just straight out hilarious. That show was like balls to the walls. Like
I think that's a good. I think that's a good place to end this podcast.
just balls to the wall, man. Mustache, right? That's all you need to know.
it was just super out there, you know. It was like all the
And I think our
fans
next,
were just like crazy.
I think our next, I think our next podcast should be just like MCU comic book related.
Yeah.
Maybe add some DC. Maybe add some DC in there.
As
6 hours.
Actually, another thing before we leave off of this, and this is kind of like an important topic that I should possibly the whole world should know, honestly. But I'm going to stop the music now. Stop the music. Okay. All right. So, in all seriousness, DC
Wash your
is gonna
hands.
try a new project, and they have said themselves that if this project does not follow through, DC Comics will shut down.
What?
No, what the fuck? No.
DC Comics will officially shut down, and there would be no more comic books, dispensed.
I've also heard rumors of like Marvel possibly buying out DC.
It was
No,
a
no.
possibility, but they're not gonna get any of the characters because the characters already kind of signed off to another company, and I forgot which company that was. But essentially, when DC Comics stops, it's a possibility that the domino effect is gonna take in. So if DC stops, then it's possible that Marvel is gonna stop producing comic books. I possibly don't see Image Comics ever stop, doing theirs. So it's probably gonna be like DC, next Marvel, next Dark Horse, and thereon, comics are just gonna stop. And essentially, the only ones that are gonna keep going are just like independent comic books that are made, independently.
I don't
But that's about it.
think. I don't think that's. I don't think the domino effect's going to hit that hard though.
Don't see that happening. I like for
Because
eight.
I feel like if DC does shut down, I feel like other companies are going to buy off those characters, be like, hey, continue your stories, or buy off those writers, artists, whatever, and then like Marvel will be like, hey, but Marvel has so many stories going on. A lot of them are being good sellers. Like Spider-Man always sells. Miss Marvel is selling. Kamala Khan. A lot of the Star Wars comics are selling. Like what's it's called?
Yeah, but mostly the problem with DC is that they just keep relying on the same characters, and it's getting old.
How?
Yeah, and also they've done so many reboots, and it's just
getting old.
No, there are good DC comic runs, but I do agree that some of them are hit or miss.
Yeah. I mean,
What take me off? Like, I love the Flash, but like him running on clouds because there's water and like he somehow vibrates so that it becomes solid enough for him to run on. Like, that's like the jump the shark moment for Flash. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
that's
thing was,
out there now.
his whole thing was like he had trouble. Like if it was in the sky, he was kind of screwed, and he had to be smart. But no, he could just run in the air now. Like,
All right. On that depressing note, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks for
guys.
listening.
Let's all go
We'll
back
see y'all
to-
next time whenever we decide to do this again. So.
I think we should just do a pure comic book themed one next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all want to do like one like on Monday or tomorrow? Because I essentially this quarantine, I got nothing going on anymore.
I plan on doing D&D with my real life group on Discord tomorrow. Don't know when that's gonna happen. I have to work on my campaign, so whenever is fine.
Whatever.
If we're all
we get this going.
if we're all free.
if we're all not dead at the end of the world. Well,
Yes.
this force
Wash your
feed-
hands.
wash your hands. Wash your face.
Stop hoarding toilet paper. Like you don't need that much. Jesus.
You don't need toilet paper. You don't need to hoard
need
toilet paper.
It's
Like,
called
God, just
rationing, people. Come on now.
Yeah.
fly to Outback with the rest of us and get a host. Jesus.
All right. Now just make sure
All
you
right,
hide your
Mike.
children, hide your wives, and y'all have a nice day. Bye bye.